You are crying behind a clear plastic door. Your dog is on the other side. It can see you, it can hear you, and you say one word: help. The door's not actually locked. Magnets are holding it shut. One push would open it. But your dog has never seen this setup before. So if your dog knows you are in distress, will it figure out how to reach you? In a Minnesota laboratory, 34 dogs faced almost exactly this situation. Some owners cried and called for help. Others calmly hummed, "Twinkle, twinkle, little star." Only 16 dogs opened the door. And surprisingly, dogs were not more likely to open it when their owners cried, until researchers looked at how fast they did it. Dogs that opened the door for a crying owner did it in about 20 seconds. Dogs hearing humming took nearly 100 seconds. Same door, same person. Very different urgency. But the strangest result came from the dogs that never opened it. Because some may not have cared too little. They may have cared too much. Before an animal can help you, it first has to detect that something is wrong. And some of those signals may be impossible to hide. Imagine a dog standing in front of 3 scent ports. No human, no crying, no face to read. Behind one port is breath and sweat collected from a person while calm. Behind another is a sample from that same person after a stressful, mental arithmetic task. 4 trained dogs repeated the test across 720 trials. Their combined accuracy in identifying the stress sample was 93.75%. This does not mean dogs can smell grief or loneliness. It means psychological. Stress changes the human body enough for a dog to detect it through scent alone. So you can turn away, stay quiet, say, "I'm fine." Your body may still be sending a different signal, but detecting change is not the same as understanding emotion. A dog may know something about you has changed without knowing why. So researchers removed the relationship entirely. They gave dogs a stranger and made that stranger cry. 18 pet dogs entered a room with their owner and someone they had never met. At different moments, the human talked normally, hummed, or pretended to cry. The humming mattered because it was unusual too. If dogs were responding only to curiosity, humming should have attracted them almost as much as crying. It did not. 15 of the 18 dogs approached during crying. Only 6 approached during humming. None approached during ordinary talking. And when the stranger cried, the dogs went toward that person. They sniffed, nuzzled, licked. Most approached with lowered, submissive body language rather than excitement or play. They were reacting differently to distress, even in a stranger. But that still does not prove they understood sadness. Maybe dogs simply learn that crying predicts unusual human behavior. Or maybe your distress becomes their distress, one nervous animal making another nervous. That would still be more than simple detection, but it would not mean the dog understands what you feel. And there was another problem. The people were pretending. So researchers tried real emotion. In 2024, 77 dog owners watched clips designed to make them genuinely happy, sad, or emotionally neutral. The owners believed the experiment was about teaching their dogs a new task. They did not know their own mood was the real test. And the dogs noticed the change. When owners became sad, their dogs spent more time on the owner's side of the room. But then something unexpected happened. They did not approach more. They did not touch more. During the task that followed, they looked at their sad owners less and jumped on them less. The dogs detected the change, and sometimes created distance from it. That sounds almost like the opposite of empathy. But maybe it is not. If the most important individual in your environment suddenly changes for no obvious reason, staying nearby while keeping some distance may make sense. You watch, you monitor, but you hesitate to move closer. Now go back to the dog behind the clear door. The dogs that opened the door for crying owners showed less stress than the dogs that stayed outside. That changes the interpretation completely. The dog that opened the door may not have cared more. It may simply have stayed calm enough to solve the problem. The dog pacing outside may have received the signal perfectly and become too distressed to act. We assume understanding should look like comforting, but sometimes recognition creates another overwhelmed animal. And dogs have spent thousands of years living beside us. So what happens when the animal is not a dog? 19 horses stood in front of a screen. Each horse first saw a photograph of a human face, happy or angry. Then the image disappeared. After a pause, a voice came from a speaker. Sometimes the emotional signals matched, sometimes they did not. A happy face was followed by an angry voice, or an angry face by a gentle one. The horses reacted faster when the signals conflicted. When the voice belonged to their caretaker, they also looked toward the speaker for longer. The face was already gone. The horse had to retain something about its emotional meaning, hear the voice, and notice that the two signals did not fit together. That matters because human emotion is almost never one clean signal. You can smile while your voice tightens. Speak normally while your posture changes. Say nothing is wrong while your breathing or scent suggests otherwise. An animal does not need the human concept of sadness to notice that those signals usually belong together, or to notice when they do not. But horses, like dogs, have worked closely with humans for generations. So researchers tried something less obvious: a goat. At a goat sanctuary in England, researchers placed two photographs of the same unfamiliar person on a wall. One face was happy, the other angry. The goats were free to choose where to go, and they tended to approach the happy face first. When it appeared on the right, they also returned to it more often and stayed near it longer. This does not prove goats understand sadness, but it makes the broader pattern harder to dismiss. Dogs can detect human stress. Dogs respond differently to crying. Horses notice conflicting emotional signals, and even goats allow a human expression to influence where they go. So emotional information from humans may matter to more animals than just our closest companions. And now we reach the word causing all the confusion. No. At the scent ports, dogs detected that the human body had changed. With the crying stranger, they treated distress differently from another unusual sound. Horses noticed when emotional signals did not match. Goats used a human expression to guide a choice. And at the clear door, some dogs turned those signals into action. Those are not the same thing. They are different levels of knowing. Your dog may recognize that something is wrong. It may become distressed because you are distressed. It may approach, freeze, watch from across the room, or try to restore contact. But none of that proves the dog understands the story inside your head. It does not show that it knows who you are grieving, what you are remembering, or what you are afraid might happen. Researchers can measure scent discrimination, looking time, heart rate, distance, movement, and whether a door opens. They cannot directly measure what your sadness feels like inside another species. So the strongest answer is not really yes, and it is not no. It is a sequence. Go back to the beginning. You are behind the clear door. Your dog is watching. First, something changes. Your voice, your breathing, your posture, your scent. The dog detects that your normal pattern has broken. Then those signals may change the dog itself. It becomes alert, cautious, stressed, focused on you. And only then do you see behavior. If the dog pushes through the door, it has stayed calm enough to solve the physical problem and restore contact. But if it stays outside, paces, whines, or simply watches, that does not prove your sadness was invisible. The signal may have arrived perfectly. The dog may simply have had no useful answer for it. We do not have evidence that animals understand. Sadness is the full human experience of memories, causes, language, and meaning. But many animals can detect when something about us changes. Some can tell whether that change is emotionally positive or negative. Some change their own behavior because of it. And some may become affected enough that helping becomes harder, not easier. Your animal may not know what happened before you entered the room. It may not know what you are remembering. It may not understand why you are crying. But that does not mean your sadness disappears at the boundary between species. Something crosses. A voice changes. A body changes. A scent changes. Another animal notices. And then something in that animal changes too. Sometimes it comes closer. Sometimes it watches from a distance. Sometimes it becomes overwhelmed. And sometimes the door opens.